Hello everybody, my name is Jesper Benvarmeren and as you can see on the screen, and today I am joined by no other than Joshua Dowsy Dows. We are in the quarterfinals and it is going to be between the Valkyrie Esports on the side of the purple team, and on the blue side it is going to be LT.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the introduction. Benvarmeren, is that correct? I think it's correct.
Close enough. Benvarmeren.
Benvarmeren, there we go. My Australian nature means that I am very ignorant to anything European and cannot pronounce a single word when it comes to any European language. But we do have the quarterfinals today between these two teams, and bans are flying out quite quickly already. Poppy and Maokai banned on the side of LT, and Nidalee and Shen banned, and obviously that Nidalee banned against it was Animal Weazen, I think, who played it last game and went on fire with it as well.
Yeah, I definitely think you have to take away Nidalee, because Animal Weazen did have a good game, as you just mentioned, in the last game. And also Shen, I'm happy to see Shen being taken away, because I think he is one of the stronger top laners, and he can really deal with a lot of the auto attacks that can come out from some of the other top laners with his new W. So I'm happy to see him being taken away as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lulu locked in instantly for LT. We see a lot of Lulu obviously in competitive games. She's quite the flex pick, can go top, mid or support, and they're going to be flexing that one out, not really giving too much away. It's now the Nautilus and the Gragas picked up for Valkyrie, and Nautilus is one of those really great top laners at the moment, able to fulfill the tank initiator role quite well, and pair it with a Gragas, you've got a really nice front line there.
And we did see Luz playing Nautilus in the last game, so it might be them taking that away from Luz as well. He did have a good game, and as you mentioned, Nautilus is one of the stronger top laners. He can be a very irritating top laner with his Death Charge and his Riptide. He can deal a lot of damage in the laning phase and then have a lot of CC once you come out of the laning phase. So I'm glad to see him being taken away, but as you mentioned, if you pair him up with Gragas, you have such good frontline with a lot of crowd control as well.
Yeah, and also a lot of disengage. You know, that explosive casket can be used more than one way. Over on the side of LT, they've locked in that big tanky Malphite, the unstoppable force that he is, and basically confirms all our fears. It's going to be a farm lane in the top lane. Malphite versus Maokai, but it does mean that once we get to the team fights, may see some explosive stuff happening. But this Thresh is quite a nice pickup for LT. Means that they can try and make some plays in the bot lane and maybe catch someone out.
And it will also help with the follow-up that can come out of Rip now that you have Thresh. The unstoppable force coming out of probably Luz on the Malphite will definitely be some good crowd control that can come out, and as you mentioned, it will also allow you to make some plays around the map. So Thresh is also one of those strong roamers, so someone like Malphite with that teleport might come in handy as well with Thresh.
Yeah, absolutely. The Malphite able to teleport across the map if he does end up taking it. Obviously it's pretty standard for top laners to run that spell. It's going to be the Orianna locked in for Valkyrie as their last pick, and so they've rounded out their team composition really quickly. Nautilus, Gragas, Orianna, Lucian, Braum, and the Lucian Braum, we haven't talked about it yet, is it's kind of like the staple name of bot lanes. You have the Lucian, you have the Braum, and once the Braum puts a concussive below stack onto someone, Lucian's able to use his double tap passive to just pop it really quickly, and so have to see how God Poros and Madcraft play on that one. But over on the side of LT, the Sivir and the Graves locked in now for their team, and kind of makes sense. Watching Animal Weazen in the previous game, he definitely likes those carry junglers, and so put him on a Graves and allow him to be this massive damage outputting machine. And he should feel very much at home with this champion.
And also with Graves, you get one of the better dueling junglers because Kindred have been taken away, so you cannot get her. And Kindred is just a little bit above Graves, so if you can get Graves, then that is so good. He is also, as I said, one of the better dueling junglers, so it will also help with the roaming potential that can come out of Rip on the Thresh. So now they will have some good way of engaging if they find someone out of position. I really like that pickup, and especially the Sivir as well, just because Sivir with On the Hunt can be very devastating if you get that follow-up that can come out of On the Hunt.
Yeah, well, you speak about On the Hunt, and Cancer Tilt is in kind of this really interesting position where they're able to kind of make the core for a team fight, chuck On the Hunt passive or ultimate on, and then you Chrysler or Chrissa with the Whimsy can speed up Lush in the top lane, and it means that this Malphite able to get into position, able to try and find that unstoppable force onto a key target. Gives them a lot more utility in that fight. Or, Rip can try and find a hook onto main target. So there's a lot of initiation threat coming out of the side of LT. But it's important to note that Valkyrie, they've kind of assembled a really nice disengage team composition as well. The beauty of Brom and Gragas when you pair them together is that you can use the two ultimates, the Explosive Cask and the Glacial Fissure, to initiate a fight, or you can use it to get away from a fight. And with the speed buff that comes out from the command dissidence of Orianna, that also allows the team to get on out of there if they need to.
And the only thing I can really point out about Valkyrie Esports side is that you don't have a lot of damage. Obviously, Lucian and Orianna will have a lot of damage in the late game, but in the early game and mid game, you kind of have dug yourself a hole, because you have this good front line, yes, but Orianna will be wanting to farm up. So will Lucian, more or less. He's more of a lane bully, so he will be looking for a little bit of a fight in the bottom lane. But it's just so slow scaling for Valkyrie Esports, and there are a lot of ways that LT can punish them with all of that early aggression that can come out from Unstoppable Force, from Graves, Thresh. Everybody really on the side of LT can punish them before looking to scale up.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, God of Poros on the Lucian, as you quite rightfully pointed out, will be a lane bully, and Lucian's a pretty good champion into the Sivir anyway. Pair it with the Brom, you've got that innate bot lane synergy that those two champions can offer. So I'm guessing Valkyrie Esports will be looking to try and make use of that bot lane, try and get Lucian as far ahead as possible early on, so that he can outscale the Sivir pick that has come out. But yeah, you're right. Orianna does want to scale up into the late game or the mid game. That's when she's going to be doing most of her damage. And if LT are able to abuse the fact that Orianna does scale a little bit later and pull together their team fighting composition and make use of it, then yeah, they might be able to pull ahead of Valkyrie a little bit. But I don't think we should underestimate Valkyrie's composition either. They've got so much team fighting aggression and availability for them to use that if they get the right combination of ultimates off, we could see a wombo combo in its truest sense.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't be underestimating. As you said, the wombo combo can be very devastating for the members on the side of LT. But still, they have to get through the early game, and if they get bullied a lot by Animal Vision's Graves, then early game is not something that they are going to be living through. And we did see Animal Vision play a really good carry jungler in the last game. This isn't quite an elite, so he doesn't have that gap closer. Well, at least not the gap closer as good as Nidalee, but still, it's all about whether or not Animal Vision can come out and apply a lot of jungle pressure to this game. I feel like that will be the win condition here in the early game for LT.
Yeah, because Orianna is able to scale into the late game, and if you allow her to, the team fighting composition that Valkyrie have demonstrated could come out. Here's a little bit of an invade though. Bully going to try and jump onto Weezen, but he's met by Whimsy or Glitterlance by Kreiser, and they're going to have to back out of this one. Health bars are going really low. First blood goes over to Animal Weezen, and both people flashing forward, and it's not over yet as Rip has roamed up. He's got the fillet, and a flash comes out of Fluffy as well, and that is not the start you want of your Valkyrie. You've given up first blood and you've burnt your summoners, and now you have to try and get into the jungle quick enough and get ready for the camps to spawn.
That is definitely not the way you want to start this game as Valkyrie. And you also gave up the first blood to the jungler, so now he will also have a Hunter's Machete on top of his Hunter's Talisman. So there is so much sustain on the side of Animal Weezen now, and you have already put him on a good path to getting his Warriors enchantment. So I talked about how you want to get jungle pressure out on the map. This is already the path of the jungle pressure that they have stood on.
Yeah, this is what Animal Weezen want. He carried the previous game on that Nidalee. He's going to be looking to do it again on Graves, and he's already got the best start he can get. He's got the Tailsman as well as the Machete in the jungle, and it's going to mean that he's getting XP and life still. It's going to be nice and healthy when he comes out of this jungle. It's not like Graves struggles anyway with jungling, and you've just given him the means to do even better.
You definitely have, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Animal Weezen will be able to apply this buff that he just got in the early game. And also Fluffy in the mid lane. We haven't really talked about how he picked up an Ignite. So I talked a little bit about how I thought they were very slow scaling. I still think they are so, but that Ignite on Fluffy will apply some kill pressure that can come out and actually be a good way for WKE, the Valkyrie Esports, to actually apply some pressure, get some momentum rolling for them in the early game. Because if they can get Fluffy rolling and get him onto a item or two, then he will already be so far ahead that he can really try to apply more of the kill pressure with that Ignite and then roam toward the lanes to try and get them snowballing as well.
Yeah, Orianna does alright into Lulu. Lulu's a very safe champion. You can play her from quite far back, but Orianna also has the range available to her to make up some of that pressure. Have a look at the river now. We're going to see a little bit of an
Animal
Weezen. Going to jump onto him, apply those concussive stacks. The exhaust is slowing down. Here comes Godoporos. He's going to go very low. He's not going to flash either. But here's the shield from Kreiser. They're trying to help out. Rip is also in the middle of the fight. Everyone's coming down for this one, and it's looking like it's going to be LT's fight. Everyone trying to get away. Kreiser flashing forward. They're going to go into Godoporos, who's the one caught out. He's running to the river. He takes a Glitterlance to the face. Meanwhile, on the top lane, a bit of a noodle fight as Malphite versus Nautilus, and it's actually Ignorance who gets the kill. Godoporos does fall in the end to Kreiser, so a 1-for-1 across the map, all because Animal Weezer got a little bit caught out, and it was the side of LT actually able to back him up in the end and give him the support needed to get out of that one.
It was so beautifully played by Rip that that Flay that just kept, I think it was God of Powers away from Animal Weezen. That really saved his life and allowed LT to pick up the gold lead here in the early game. They have 400 gold. It's not too much, but it kind of comes from the 2 kills that they have, and it's not like they're developing a gold lead anyway. So with the kills that they have and the small gold lead that they have as well, they might be able to start developing a CS lead.
Yeah, and look at the item purchase by Godoporos. He's picked up the coal, which indicates to me that he feels like he needs to scale up more so. Usually Illusion would be wanting to pick up the BF sword as quick as possible, try and build into that Essence Reaver, get the early damage down. But Godoporos, he basically had to run for his life and ended up on the opposite side of the map. And now he's got a coal because he feels behind, and that could be something that mentally pushes Godoporo's back, because he's not going to have the damage. Cole was also picked up by Cancer Tilt. I think they replicated the purchase, so it's not going to matter too much. But in the mid lane, Kry's are now caught by a nice body slam by Bully. Here's the ignite you talked about, and Fluffy will pick up the kill, which is really crucial for Valkyrie. If they're going to scale up into the late game and be this force, then they need to be getting those kills. Now in the bot lane, Dark Passage, Animal Weasel takes it through, but a teleport coming out by Ignorus, and he's going to land the dredge line onto Weasel and the depth charge as well. Goodbye, Graves. Now onto Thresh as well. Rip going to go down. A double kill for Godoporos. Kryzer comes through with the teleport. Madcraft goes extremely low, but this might be the teleport he wants. Kryzer going to struggle here. Another auto attack will do it. Triple kill goes over to Godoporos. Can they get the quadra kill? And they do! The quadra kill goes over, but a double kill for Cancer at Tilt. So trading some back, but that is a big goal lead for Godoporos. He's going to love that. And now Valkyrie able to go straight onto this dragon and push their lead even further.
And this is why Lucian is a lane bully. He's packing so much damage in the early game. They just utilized it there, picked up a quadra kill. And now Godoporos will be able to pick up that BS sword you talked about earlier. They will also get a dragon, so with all that gold that they just received, the 6% extra AP and AD will definitely help them just push their advantages further. And I feel like Kryzer came out with that very late teleport. He should have teleported earlier if he wanted to, because at that point it was just way too late, and you didn't even have your wild growth to support your team. So a very unnecessary teleport coming out from Kryzer, and in the end just ended up giving up another kill.
Yeah, and it was also like you could have a look at Los in the top lane, use the teleport to lane to keep up with the CSing that's coming out. Now it's going to be Ignorus in a bit of trouble. Flashes away from Animal Weasel, doesn't want to take too much damage, and very respectful of him. But Los used that teleport earlier to get into lane a little bit quicker, and it meant that Ignorus had the teleport advantage over his lane opponent. And if Los had that teleport, that could have been such a different fight. You know, a unstoppable force really turns the tides. But the teleport deficit was there, and Valkyrie were able to capitalize off it. Now have to be a bit careful. Animal Weasel roaming into the jungle of Bully. And so is Los as well. Going to try and push him out of this one. I don't think they're going to be able to really get too much of a kill there going, but Animal Weasel trying to dominate. Oh, nice explosive cask onto him. Has to flash away. Los now onto Ignorus, and going to be a bit of a little tit and tat. Animal Weasel was roaming up, but they had him warded. Oh, nice dash from the hook. But this is now Valkyrie's game. They've got the lead, and they've got the early start that they needed onto this Lucian.
Yeah, they definitely have, and I like how they just got the flash away from Animal Weasel as well, because that means that Animal Weasel will have less options to play around with here in the early game. And for now, for Valkyrie Esports, it's about pushing their lead further. You can see in the they're fighting in the top lane.
Yeah, this top lane's going very, very low. Los has unstoppable force, will not use it to get away. The corrupting potion burning onto it, and has to end up backing away to his turret. I did think Los would pull the trigger there, but low on mana meant that the ultimate wasn't available to the Malphite, and Ignorus won the trade in the end.
But as I was saying, for now, Valkyrie Esports, they have to push their gold lead further, and you can see that a lot of the gold that they got is invested in God of Powers, and therefore they have a lot of wards around the bottom side. But hang on a second, Bully might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, his bot lane's roaming up. If Animal Weasel wants to continue this one, he has to be careful. A nice body slam engage by Bully. And there's the shield coming through. Glilens to slow them all down. And there's the shockwave. It hits too. Ignite onto Animal Weasel. And they're going to wild growth him. Madcap flashes forward with the glacial fish and knocks them all up. They're going on to Kryze. He goes low. Double kill for Fluffy, and now they're turning it onto the rest of the Tenane. Loesch is here with his teleport. He's used the body unstoppable force, and he's trying to 1v3, and he's seeming to do so. Madcalf goes very low, but they managed to lock him up with the Winter's Bite, and Fluffy gets the kill. Godoporo was by himself, gets shut down by by Cancer Tilt there, but a nice 2 for 1 in the end, going over to the side of Valkyrie. And Cancer Tilt has to be careful, flashes forward, and the auto attack from Fluffy will secure the kill, make that a 3 for 1, and Valkyrie are dominating.
This is so good for Valkyrie. I mean, yes, you get a lot of kills, but you got all of the kills onto Fluffy. And Fluffy, who we talked about were so slow scaling, is now in such a good position to get a lot of gold, start to scale into late game. Just look at his items. He just picked up a Rod of Ages, so he is scaling already into that late game. And with the Rod of Ages, he's never going to be any trouble from a gank from Animal Vision, just because he has so much health.
Yeah, as that Rod of Ages stacks up, definitely going to put him in a safer position. You talked about this in Champ Select. This line of Valkyrie, they had only 2 damage sources, and it was going to possibly be a problem for them. But the damage sources have done quite well. 5-0 and 0, 4-2 and 3, respectively. They're definitely being the carries of this team. And if they continue to do so, this could be Valkyrie's game quite easily. It's a 2,000 gold leader currently for them, and I personally think they've got the late game scaling. This is at the beginning of the game when Bully went down, or no Bully, Ignorus went down to the in-game jungle invade that Valkyrie tried to put off. We said that this is not the start Valkyrie wanted. Well, we were wrong. This is the start that Valkyrie wanted, and they're making use of it.
And hold on a second, Bully is coming to the top side, but I think Lurch might be able to get away.
Yeah, there was a ward there. Fluffy has to be careful. He actually shockwaves himself, not the target he wants. Animal Weasel will pick up the kill with the collateral damage. And you have to be careful, you know, you're healthy, you're tanky, but you're not that tanky. And when you have your summoners down and you miss your ultimate, then things could go a little bit wrong.
They definitely could, and I like to see them focusing Fluffy, just because he is more of a threat now than God of Porous, because yes, God of Porous will still have a lot of damage in the early game, but Fluffy is the one that will scale into infinity more or less, so you also have to look at shutting him down. And the thing is, for the side of Valkyrie, they aren't that afraid of Animal Weasel. We can see that because if you look at the minimap, there is way more wards around the top river. They want to protect Fluffy from a gank that could come out from lows, and I understand that. But you also have to be respectful of the bottom side, so you need to get some wards there as well. That could potentially come out from Madcraft if he starts to roam a little bit, because he haven't been roaming in quite some time.
Yeah, well, Fluffy's been pushed under his turret, and that's where you expect the roams to come out from. This Orianna, who's already so far ahead of her opponent, has to try and push out the lane. Looks like Valkyrie going to group around this dragon. They've got the ward coverage, and LT don't really have too much clue of it going on. They might have an inkling in their heart, but this will be the second dragon going over to Valkyrie quite easily. Nice objective play by the team, trying to push towards that 5th dragon count if they can. And that extra damage to turrets, the burn effect that it now does, going to help out. Now Animal Weasel has to be careful. He was spotted out by Ward, and he's actually going to attempt it back. He's caught out by 2. The body slam actually goes through the flash, and Bully will pick up the kill with an explosive casket. And that was a really nice play. Now Ignorus roaming down. They may try to group up in the mid lane, trying to pull something out on Kryza, possibly. Kryza's pretty safe though with that Lulu. Got the wild growth available. But this is the ability now that Valkyrie has to pressure on lanes. They've got their second dragon. They're doing extra damage to turrets. You can see God of Poros and Madcraft are pressuring out the bot lane of LT at the moment. And if they're able to continue to do this, it's going to help them push their lead even further.
Yeah, the pressure of losing towers is definitely very high now for Valkyrie's. But oh, Bully!
Yeah, Kryza caught out by Bully. A beautiful shockwave by Fluffy secures the kill. And now they're going to group up on this turret. Ignorus also showing Los who's boss in this lane. And it seems like Valkyrie are firing all cylinders here. This jungle mid lane synergy doing quite well for them. And Fluffy now 6-1-1. It's becoming a scary game if you're LT.
Bully and Fluffy are just so far ahead. I mean, little strokes they fell great oaks, and you just given so many strokes to Fluffy that he will be able to fall this great oak of LT. And if he continues this way, he's just going to be roaming and scaling out of control. And even the pressure of losing the towers in the mid lane is so high because Fluffy can certainly hold his own now that he has a flash and his Rod of Ages is scaling.
Yeah, and Orianna is a scary champion as it is. She's often misperceived. The damage that she does on her auto attacks means that she can take turrets so quickly. And it means that she's able to trade damage just by her auto attacks alone, which is always really annoying when you're up against an Orianna in the mid lane. And now that Fluffy is so far ahead, got that Rod of Ages stacking, it's half stacked at the moment, and also got a nearly large rod. It's going well. Madcraft has to be careful, but he's got Bully in backup. Animal Weason is now tagged by the Winter's, the concussive blow. The ultimate does miss from Madcraft, but they've got the Rift Herald in the lane. A teleport now coming out of Loesch, looking for the Unstoppable Force. Here's Kryzer as well on the backline. Bully's the focus. Unstoppable Force misses, but the Shockwave hits 3 on the backline. Bully going to fall to Animal Weason, and I think they're going to focus in onto Fluffy now, who's kind of caught out. But she actually flashes forward and lands the kill onto Kryzer with the command attack. Now teleported by Ignorus. Going to try and back up their mid laner, and we'll go straight onto Animal Weason with the depth charge. Root him up, and then lock him up with a dredge line as well. Doesn't quite miss it. Doesn't quite hit it, and so 1 for 1 in the end for both teams. But a nice turnaround by Valkyrie to back up their laners and try and get something out of it.
And Animal Weason, he should be way stronger at this point in the game. I mean, he is Graves. He should be snowballing this game in his favor. Oh, Cancer Tilt!
Cancer Tilt goes very low. Porous flashes forward. Los is here, and this could be the double kill dream. That's one. Teleport coming out of Kryzer. Probably unnecessary, but they're going to speed up their Malphite and try and get him into position. He's actually just going to execute himself if he can. Cancer Tilt gets the kill. Actually, probably not a target that you wanted in the end. Probably better to give it over to Los, but that's a 2 for 1 in the end for LT. And a bit of over-aggression by the bot lane of Valkyrie, who just didn't realize that Los was sticking around.
This game is so bloody. I mean, both teams, they are really going for a lot of kills, and now with the dragon respawning in 1 minute and 40 seconds, we might see Valkyrie Esports try to play around it, because they already have 2 dragons. So if they can get the 3rd dragon stack, get up to 4 dragon stacks at least, then they can put LT in that position where they have to choose between either the dragon or the Baron. This is the dream for Valkyrie Esports, and they are certainly able to get to that dream, because they just have way too much damage for LT to even contest the dragon. They have to contest the next dragon at least. They cannot give 4 stacks over to Valkyrie Esports, let alone 5 stacks. So at some point LT will have to contest it, but this might be too early. You should wait for Cancer Tilt and Animal Weason to become a little bit stronger.
Yeah, you can't force team fights when you're behind like this, and especially when Valkyrie have the ultimate team fighting composition. It's not the easiest of things to do, but it doesn't mean it's all over at the moment for LT. The Listlun's Tilt squad still in this game, and could bring it back with a couple of sneaky kills. Animal Weason and Bully trying to put pressure in this bot lane. They're trying to secure the first turret of the game. It's only on a couple of HP, 153. A couple of auto attacks would knock that out, and that's the dream at the moment for Valkyrie Esports. Just to try and get this one for themselves, and I think LT gonna give it up. Gonna give it over to Valkyrie now, and that'll be the first turret of the game secured.
Yeah, it will be, and Fluffy is happy with getting that tower as well, because now he's only 700 gold away from getting his Rabadons. Getting the Rabadons is such a huge power spike for an Orianna. Actually, in the top lane, they will be fighting while the Valkyrie Esports side will be starting off the next dragon.
Yeah, it's a good time to start a fight when you're Ignorus, because it means that Loesch doesn't have the opportunity to use his teleport. Obviously it is on cooldown, but they may not have that timer available to them. And now after they've got that dragon, they've got a bit of extra movement speed, and the team is grouped up. This mid lane turret should fall quite easily, as it was only on 200 health itself. And now it looks like Valkyrie Esports want to push their lead even further, roam up to this top lane and pay Loesch a visit, because the top lane turret is quite well. Ignorus has been putting the damage on, and they've got the rotation going for them. Loesch has to be very careful of this. He has to be respectful. Got the unstoppable force. He's going to go straight onto them as they tank the turret up, and looks like he'll actually just get tanked up himself. CC, nice command shockwave onto 2 members, and Christ is going to fall. Now going to head over to Animal Weasel, and he gets pulled in with a dredge line. Going to get locked up with the concussive blows, and he'll fall as well. That's a 3-for-1 on the side of Valkyrie, and they're looking to push their advantage even more. They got the turret for themselves. Now going to push in onto this tier 2 turret, but they did lose their AD carry. May make things a little bit hard. Have to see how Cancer Tilt can hold this one off. It looks like they're going to respect the damage from this Sivir and back away, but that's a now 5k gold lead for Valkyrie, and they're dominating at the moment.
Yeah, very well played by Valkyrie Esports, because they know that they are that far ahead, and their frontliners can soak up all the damage that can come out of the tower and of the members on LT. So if you can just stay in the front line like Ignorus and Bully are doing, then Fluffy and God of Porous will never be in any trouble. And at this point, LT, they should not be looking at fighting. They have plenty of wave clear on the side of Cancer Tilt with that static shiv and the ricochets that can now crit, of course. So if you just play on Cancer Tilt and Crisser, then you are never going to be in any trouble unless that Valkyrie Esports wants to go in and hard engage onto them, because that is really the only way that they can do so. But you have to be wary of the wild growth on the side of Chrysler.
Yeah, it's a game of either out-rotate your opponents or catch someone out. It's what they're attempting to do now onto Animal Weasel as the depth charge lands. The shockwave whiffs though. This culling not really hitting Rip, but the dredge line does, and he will fall. Fluffy's on a killing spree, 8-1 and 2. They're going to continue this fight. Animal Weasel trying to put out a bit of damage, and the Glitterlands trying to tag someone up. The Winter's Bite does land onto Animal Weasel. Ping's being pulled out on the map as they spot Loesch with their warding, and Loesch does have his unstoppable force up. This could be trouble for the side of Valkyrie if they get caught up with it, but it is a 4-for-5 at the moment, and they should feel comfortable knowing that they do have the advantage. Ultimates are down though, so only the Glacial Fish are available for Valkyrie. I think that's what LT are betting on at the moment as they try to siege up this mid lane turret.
Fluffy is in such a ridiculous state right now. He's packing so much damage, and the command shockwave will be so devastating once that comes off of cooldown. So really, Valkyrie Esports, if they can just land one good shockwave, then all of LT will be devastated. They will be gone from the face of Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, they will be, and have to see how it goes. Rip is now back up again and able to help out his team. The siege continues. Ultimate's almost up for the side of Valkyrie Esports. The culling goes out to try and push them away from the wave. God of Porous is doing so much damage with that static shift, in essence Reaver and BT sword as well forward, and now he gets flushed away from the unstoppable force. The shockwave goes onto the backline, and they manage to tick out Chrysler. Madcroft does fall, but they're doing a lot of damage onto the side of LT. Cancer Tilt gets pulled in, flashes away from the dredge line. And 2-for-1 at the moment for these teams as they've taken away the jungler and the mid laner. Rip once more, he lands the hook onto Fluffy. Bully says no thank you, I'm going to push you off. The dredge line spell shielded out by Cancer Tilt. Nice timing on that spell, but this is going to be the inner turret in the mid lane taken out by these two teams. Wow, what was that damage from Fluffy? The command attack just completely deletes Cancer Tilt off the map. Dragon spawning in a minute 30, and I think Valkyrie are gonna try and disengage this one. Loesch just playing a bit of annoyance on that side, but Valkyrie Esports now 7,000 gold up, 7,500 gold up against their opponents. 4 turrets to none, 3 dragons to none, and the 4th dragon of the game spawning in just a little bit. This could mean even more potential for Valkyrie.
And the start of that fight all happened with the best possible opportunity for LT to come in and find a good unstoppable force onto Fluffy, and they weren't successful in landing it when... Oh, actually, sorry, it was God of Porous, and they weren't successful in landing it because of the flash that God of Porous had. So, in the end, God of Porous, very well played by him, a good way of denying a good team fight from LT, and now LT, they have to look at stopping this dragon taking from the side of Valkyrie Esports. They have to either try and steal it or fight them. Fight them is not a possibility, therefore you have to steal it.
Yeah, the steal might come through from Animal Wiesen. Does have that collateral damage available to him as well for the execute. It doesn't actually offer execute, I don't think, anymore, so that's a lie, but does have the ability to steal away if he gets into position. Doesn't have flash available though, so it could be really risky. They've set up a bit of dominance over the dragon. They've got teleport on both top laners at the moment, as well as Chrysler, if Chrysler wanted to go off and split. But they're playing a risky game here. Trying to fight Valkyrie could mean their death. Teleport being tunneled now by Lotion. He's going to try and find an engage if he can. Unstoppable Force is available for this Malphite.
Now.
Yeah, Ignorus coming around from the backline looking for the flank. He's going to get onto the backline as well. Cancer Tilt locked up with the Death Charge. Here comes the engage. The Unstoppable Force straight onto God Porous, but it does not matter. Bully's found the kill onto Wiesen, and Rip is the next target. Oh my goodness, that was the double kill with the shockwave for Fluffy, and he annihilates the side. God Porous gets Rip on the backline. Triple kill goes over to Fluffy, and that's the clean ace for Valkyrie Esports. They're going to take their 4th dragon of the game. And oh my goodness, they're so much further in the lead than we thought.
Yes, they are. Now they can just push up to the mid lane or go to the bottom lane and get a tower there as well. So, yeah, bottom lane is probably the best answer as they are fairly low, but it looks like they will all just back off and maybe rush towards the Baron. But they got the 4th dragon, they got a lot of kills, they nearly have a 10k goal lead. Yeah, they're going for the Baron, they will push it further, and now that Fluffy also has a Void Staff, there's nothing you can do towards Fluffy because he will just deal way too much damage before you're actually able to do anything to him. They got the Unstoppable Force finally onto God of Powers, and he didn't care. He just went straight onto Rip. This is going to be the Baron. This might just be the nail in the coffin for WKE.
Yeah, they've got the Baron now. They're really far ahead in the lead. Bully's now just trying to be a bully, and rightfully so, onto Animal Wiesen, saying, hey, get out of my jungle. I know it says your jungle, but it's actually mine. Now Loesch going to get locked up. He uses the Unstoppable Force onto everybody, and the collateral damage comes through as well, but Loesch going to fall, not taking enough. Double shockwave as well, and everyone's falling very low. That's the double kill going over to Godoporo as they secure 3 for nothing. The Baron for themselves. They're going to take this turret as well, and they're pushing their lead even further. I don't think there's anything that LT can do to bring themselves back into this game, and now Cancer Tilt in trouble, has to pop that on the hunt passive, but it's not enough. Godoporos picks up the kill, and the shield from Oriana to keep him alive as well. GG well played, and Surrender Vote comes out. That's going to be the victory for Valkyrie Esports as they take this game quite convincingly, 30-11.
Very well played by Valkyrie Esports. We talked about how they were so late game scaling, then they played around God of Powers, and Fluffy made sure that their carriers would be in a good position to start carrying, start to deal the damage, because the frontliners certainly wouldn't do so, and they just ended up snowballing this game out of control. And LT, they never were part of this game. They were never able to play around Sivir and Malphite, just use their jungle pressure as well from Graves. They weren't able to do so, and in the end, Valkyrie Esports, they played so fantastically.
Yeah, absolutely. They dominated that game. The damage graph says it all. Fluffy coming out on top and just completely annoying them. Animal Wiesen did his best. Actually did quite a substantial amount of damage, more than Godoporo, surprisingly, but it wasn't enough for LT, and they're going to unfortunately be knocked out of this Go4LoL, but it does mean that Valkyrie Esports now into the semi-finals to try and pick themselves up that €100 prize, as well as the 50,000 RP, not 55,000 RP prize themselves, and obviously the 100 go for points as well.
Yes, and now we will take a short break. When we return, we will have the semi-finals, so don't go anywhere. It's starting to get really exciting, so go grab some popcorn, maybe take your dinner over and watch this stream, because it's going to be very exciting. We'll be right back.
Catch us in.
You would wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue.